Anyway, let's watch Israel be genocidal again.
Cover
You know
that.
what's crazy? I'm gonna go to the comments. Yeah, dude, these comments are so many people subscribe to Al Jazeera just to be Zionists in the comments. I'll see a new post from Al Jazeera, and it'll be from 5 minutes ago, and all the comments will be like, "You guys are anti-Semitic." It's like, that's how lifeless these people are. Look at this. Never start a war, you can't win, laughing emoji. Dude, these people are so gross. Why don't the people rise up against Hamas? This is ridiculous. What a disaster Hamas and Qatar brought against them. I don't know how Al Jazeera does it. Like they do the best Palestine Israel coverage of any news media source at all. They have the most journalists in Palestine compared to anywhere else. And they get punished for it. I can't fathom being so incredibly racist and Islamophobic that you go, oh, well, you see, Israel has to kill the babies because they're all terrorist babies. Also, Hamas started it because they should have just been good little bitches for Israel, and they should have never done anything in retaliation at all to Israel. They should have just let them continue to settle and occupy. It's hard to fathom thinking that way, you know? It really is. Hamas has offered a ceasefire a million times. The issue with the ceasefire deals brought by Hamas is they actually call for a ceasefire. Israel's idea of a ceasefire is, how about we stop for like a month or so, and then we can just bombard you again if we want to. That's Israel's idea of a ceasefire. Hamas is like, fucking no. If we're doing a ceasefire, you're going to stop fucking up our land. But Israel doesn't like that. This shows you how easy propaganda is. Propaganda is so easy. As long as our country is in support of this genocidal state, you have normal people who aren't bad people. They're so gullible and easy to trick that you go, oh, well, don't worry, Israel actually has to kill the babies. And it's actually not that bad to kill all those babies. And I go, oh, okay. Well, if America says so, and I'm American, so I should listen to America, then it's probably right, right? And then, 20 years from now, liberals are going to go, maybe the leftists were right about this. Conservatives will probably never admit to that, but the liberals will in like 20 years, and they'll never be like, well, they'll never say the leftists were right about this. They'll just go, oh, well, we should have thought of that, sooner. Really, I was pro-Palestine the whole time. That's what'll happen. It's the same thing that happened with Iraq. Same thing that happened with Vietnam. Liberals will be all in support for America-backed wars, and then 20 years later, wouldn't you know it, the leftists were right, and liberals will be like, that war, I knew from the beginning. Like I said, conservatives will never back down, but liberals will. These commenters are saying stuff like, oh, what a disaster Hamas and Qatar brought on them. Did Hamas or Qatar do this? No, Israel did this. What reason could Hamas or Qatar given Israel, what possible reason could they have given Israel that would justify this? What? Anything? No. Nothing at all. There's not a single thing. So basically, Israel was getting slammed with the, hey, you're doing genocide, you cannot starve them, you're insane. And they're like, oh, okay, how about we give them, some of them one small meal per day, so technically we're giving them food. I can't barely even watch this.
Meaning
This
having
is so
to go
heartbreaking.
hungry.
Okay, these comments are actually humane. Yeah, so 5 trucks for 2 million people. Isn't that awesome, guys? That
Israeli
sounds
Prime
about right.
Minister, we must not reach a state of starvation, both from a practical and diplomatic point of view.
Oh, I'm sure you're thinking very diplomatically.
We simply won't get support. We won't be able to complete the mission of victory.
See, he's so open about it. He's literally saying we can't let them starve or we won't get support and we won't be able to murder all of them. Fucking monster, dude. Have you seen this? I'm taking a risk by opening a Twitter post on stream, but I trust you. Oh, yes, I have seen this. Yeah. I'll tell you more than that. Every child, every baby in Gaza is the enemy. The enemy is not Hamas, and it's not Hamas's military wing, like our children's chief military prosecutor tells us, that we're not allowed to harm a Hamas member unless they're part of the military wing. Every child in Gaza is the enemy. We need to conquer Gaza and colonize it, and not leave a single Gazan child there. There is no other victory. That is Israel. This is insane. And people say it's not a genocide. And if you show that, you're anti-Semitic. Yeah, if you show that, you're anti-Semitic. Yeah. If you're anti-Semitic, not if you say things about Israel, but if you repeat what Israel is saying. If you go, hey, Israel said we need to kill every Gazan child, you're anti-Semitic for saying the thing that they said. They said that shit. We're repeating it. We're listening. We're just not walking around with our eyes closed and our fingers in our fucking ears going la 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 la. We're actually listening to what they're saying, and that makes us anti-Semitic because we're not like intentionally being moronic and allowing ourselves to be brainwashed. If you are still in support of Israel, you know what they're doing is fucked up. You're doubling down and you don't want to admit that, hey, maybe I was wrong about this, which is a large sum of a lot of issues in the Republican Party right now. At the beginning, I think there were genuinely people who were like, wow, I mean, look at October 7th. Nothing can justify that. But with all this shit going on, I don't think a single decent human being can look at this and go, oh, this is justified. Yeah, this makes sense. Deep down, you have to know this is fucked up. There's something wrong here.
Women and children make up a worryingly high proportion.
I can't fucking watch this, man. And one of the biggest arguments is, then why don't neighboring countries take in Palestinians? Because Palestine asked them not to, because they know that they've done this before. This is not a new thing. Israel goes, well, just let the neighboring countries take you guys in. Palestine go, okay, we'll try that. We'll do that. Hey, you take in Palestinians. And then what does Israel do? They colonize the area. That is a trick. They say that because if neighboring countries take in Palestinians, Israel isn't going to let them go back. And those people are loyal to their land, just as any person has a right to be. They're going to want to stay in their land. It's their home. Well, MAGA is sort of like they're so deep that they can't come out now. It's kind of like people who watch One Piece. Oh yes, MAGA, the One Piece of politics. The Houthis are like One Piece!
These evacuees have been told to go to an area that has also been hit by airstrikes. It's not much of a haven in this expanding war.
Yeah, that Israel, everything Israel does is, as like I said, like, oh, they're being humanitarian, is always a guise. Like, hey, you're getting bombed? Okay, we're going to locate you to this other place that we have bombed in the past and will most definitely bomb again in the future. And then tell you, well, you shouldn't have moved over there.
Here is a satellite image taken shortly after the conflict began. Now, look at what's happened in the year and a half since. Everything around it leveled, and now this single square mile has become a...
They're doing pre-defensive war crimes and pre-defensive genocide. Obviously. Stupid.
Today, the IDF ordered some of its residents to evacuate ahead of what it called an unprecedented attack. They told people to move from the yellow section and to head westwards. You can see from the tarpaulin, and it's an area packed with tents.
Yeah, like, why would they do this? They're like, hey, guys, we need you to move so we can destroy your homes. And then they're like, see, we're the good guys. Like, what? How does that make you the good guys?
Israel will take control of the whole of Gaza. The details are unclear, but an indication of how that might emerge from this map leaked to the Times over the weekend. It shows Gaza divided into 3 tightly controlled strips of land for civilians, separated by 4 exclusively military zones. One of the ideas being considered for what might happen if there is no cease deal. And Nina, today we also heard